If you have any questions, feel free to use Google Meet's raise a hand feature to post your questions, to ask a question immediately, or just to chat through the chat window. And now let's. I saw a lot of people coming in. Now let's get started. Today's agenda. We're going to introduce Seasalt AI and Twilio for in a short while. And then I have invited a lot of some Seasalt AI colleagues to do some demos of the basic features of a collaborative contact center, and also some advanced ones. And finally, showing you some of the recent innovations from Seasalt AI with knowledge base, with speech technologies, and some of the most asked features such as insights. Finally, we go with Q&A. First of all, welcome again, everybody. Please meet the whole Seasalt AI team. We are headquartered in Seattle with about 10 people, and then another 10 people based in Taiwan. This is a screenshot of our last all hands meeting. If you see some dark background, which is like in the evening, that means that the people are in the west coast of Seattle, and the rest are in our Taipei offices. We started in 2020 and have a lot of customers based in Southeast Asia, and we are deploying different enterprise contact centers to over 150 countries in the world as we are speaking. So both the company and the products are going great. We have a suite of different products, but today we are only going to demonstrate the vertical one, which we call the SeaX, the Collaborative Contact Center. SeaX is actually powered by the suite of AI automation technologies. We have 4 components over here. CChat deals with multi-turn dialogues, so you can think of this as a chatbot or voice bot. CVoice is specifically deep learning-based speech recognition and speech synthesis. CWord is everything about natural language processing and cross-lingual NLP. And finally, C Code is our in-house integrated developer environment to speed up the authoring, training, and deployment of any voice bot or chatbot. So everything from C-Suite powers the automation of CX. And underneath CX is the infrastructure provided by Twilio. So Twilio provides the basic messaging and phone call capabilities. So you can think of Twilio as this IaaS layer, infrastructure as a SaaS, as a service, while CX is the software as a service layer. And then today we're going to focus on the SaaS layer of Seasalt, of CX. We are a Twilio certified partner, and we go to market together with the Twilio. Twilio basically powers all the cloud communication infrastructure with Seasalt AI, and we build on top level applications from that, right? So from this picture, you could say that basically Seasalt AI helps, and it goes together with the Twilio to bridge the gap between the customers on the left-hand side and all the contact center agents and automation and robots on the right-hand side. All the red blocks you see are different components from Twilio, such as programmable voice, messages, and audio and video. And all the green blocks are actually from Seasalt AI. And once we piece them all together, you would say ready to use one-stop applications. Specifically is CX, right? So CX we think represents the future of cloud communication, which has like 4 big components. First of all, customers are cross-channel. They are just everywhere, and they can text any brand anywhere in the world. And due to COVID, a lot of contact centers are elevated to the cloud. The original brick and mortar cubic-based contact centers are out of fashion already, and then the cloud contact centers natively would hire a lot of distributed agents, right? Agents are hired globally, not only from like one central location where people have to go to the physical offices. And we think with a lot of automation from C-suite, we could turn agents into super agents to improve the efficiency of contact center and also reduce quite some cost. So that's a sort of the value proposition brought by Seasalt AI. We basically want to offer this one-stop contact center solution in terms of both, in terms of all products, automation from C-suite, voice AI, and even agents hiring. So clients can directly hire some agents, and we can help them train and monitor the agent's performance. And this is all provided by Seasalt AI, so that our clients can just focus on their own customers. And I think that's it. That's what we call the one-stop contact center solutions. Okay, so that's so far about the Seasalt AI introduction and our vision of the future of contact centers. I'm gonna invite our team member, Kim, Amy, and Sarah to do some very basic introduction of our collaborative contact centers. Kim, please take the stage.
Yes, great, thank you. Great, so I'm gonna go through a bunch of different demos. To start, I'll talk about the really basic functionality. So at the core level, there's 4 different roles of people who are interacting with the contact center. First, obviously, you have the users who are calling, texting, or chatting and want to be connected with a live agent. Second, you have the agents themselves who sign in to SeaX and are assigned tasks, and those tasks are the calls and chats from the users. And in order to handle those, the agents have access to tools like transcriptions and knowledge base entries. They can also record the conversations, consult with other agents, and transfer users. So they have a bunch of tools available to assist the users best as possible. Above them, you have supervisors, and they have some additional tools. They can monitor the status of all the agents and all of the conversations and tasks. They can also privately coach agents for training purposes or barge into conversations to resolve issues. And they also have access to analytics on calls and messages, as well as the agent performance. And then finally, the admins can configure the platform settings. So we'll see some of those settings in the demo, but things like open hours, automated messages, the knowledge base, they have access to all those settings. They can also review worker hours and do things like generating analytic reports. So to start, the most basic functionality is just getting those messages and calls. So we have Omnichannel Support. That means that all the different channels of communication that a user could possibly use to interact with your business are all being funneled into one place. So for text messages, we support channels like Facebook, Google Business Messages, Instagram, Discord, Line, WhatsApp, basically any text-based communication that includes SMS, or if you have a web chat on your website, we can incorporate all those channels and surface all those messages on SeaX. And then on the voice side, we can do phone calls. And to add to that, we have our own in-house text-to-speech and speech-to-text. So if you have a chatbot or something like that, you can use the text-to-speech to generate those messages and hear them audibly on the phone. And we also use the speech-to-text to create transcriptions of all the conversations coming in. So customers can call, text, or chat to reach you from virtually any platform. And those are all going to surface to the agents in one place on SeaX. So I'll go ahead and show that. Coming over to this tab, this is our main SeaX homepage. So on the left-hand side, we have all of our different tabs here. And once I see an incoming text or phone call, it'll show me a little notification and I can see that. So here we have some incoming chats. Amy, Sarah, and Shuchen are going to come at me from all angles. I'll accept this one. Once I accept, I can see the full conversation history and then talk. This is a web chat. Okay, I'm also getting an incoming call. So I can answer this call while I'm still handling this conversation from a customer. Hi, this is Kim. How can I help you? Okay.
Well, I think you're connecting me.
Yes. Hello, Shuchen.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'll hang that one up. And I thought I'd get a message from Sarah Amy, but oh, well, somebody's responding to me. Okay, so I'll end that chat, and that just shows you how the messages appear. Oh, there's my last chat request. Well, I'm just gonna hang that up. Goodbye. That just, there's another one. Okay, so this one's from Facebook. Great. Okay, so to wrap that up, that's just showing how all these different channels are appearing in one place, and I can handle all these different messages as they come in. I can be juggling a couple different things, phone calls, different chats all at once. Great. Moving on to some other basic features related to availability and hours. We can also set an unavailable message. So if, for example, all of your agents are offline or they're all busy with other customers, we can configure either a text-to-speech message that will be generated and spoken to the user via the phone, or some audio file that we can record. And that will just play if there's no agent available. We can configure how long the person is on hold until they get that message. Also, the hours are highly configurable. So it comes with a default setting of pretty much all the majorly recognized holidays. So that's kind of set up for you. But additionally, you can configure your time zone for where your workers are. You can configure your weekly hours, so just your typical Monday through Friday hours. You can also set special hours if you have a special event or some holiday that just your company celebrates or something like that. And that's configurable per phone number. So if you have agents in Canada and agents in the US, you can have different holidays configured for your Canadian phone number versus your US phone number. Yes, so let's go see that in action. Back on the home page, I'll just go to the settings tab, and this is where all that configuration happens. Like I said, for the operating hours, you can select which phone number you're managing. So for example, this could be my US phone number. I'm in the PST time zone, so that's fine for me. All these holidays are pre-configured, and I can just select which ones I'm going to actually be closed on. For my typical weekly hours, I can select which days I'm open or closed, and then my opening and closing hours. And then if I have a special occurrence, like being closed on a particular day, or having extended hours or shortened hours, I can also configure that. So for this phone number, I'm just going to leave it as is and save that. But for the second phone number, I'll just say maybe I'm closed on Thursdays from now on. So I'll save that one. And I'm going to try calling into both phone numbers, and we should see that I get a not on operating hours message. Okay, so here we go on the first number. Oh. This one should get me directly through to an agent. And yep, right away, there's my call coming in. I'll just hang up because I don't want to answer my own call. And then for the second one, it's going to take me through a bit of a IVR flow. So it will ask me what language I'm speaking, and it will send me to a chatbot, which I can then request a live agent.
3 for simplified Mandarin. The call will now be transferred to Smart Customer Service. Please wait. Hello, the phone will be answered by the chatbot. If you want to talk to a real person, please say live agent.
Live agent.
Transferring you to one of our agents. Sorry, it's not working hours now. Please call again when we're at work. Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, so there was my message saying that we're not open right now. That's also configurable, and that was also a good example of how you can send users through that IVR flow if you need to know what language they're speaking or which department they want. And in that case, it was also hooked up to a chatbot. So if I wanted to talk to the chatbot again to answer some simple questions, I can do that before being transferred to a live agent. The unavailable message is pretty similar. Again, I can select the phone number that I want to use. I will use the 626 number, and then I can either write a message and use the text-to-speech engine to generate that, or I can just upload an audio file. So in this case, I'll just use default unavailable female English. And let me try calling it on this one. First, I'll make myself unavailable. And I'm the only agent right now, so that means no one's available to get the call, so I should immediately get this unavailable message.
Sorry, all our agents aren't available now. Please call back later. Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry.
Great, so that worked, and that just gave me immediately a message that no one's available to take my call. Okay. Next, we'll move on to some more advanced features. So the next thing will be transferring. When a call comes in and the agent is talking to a customer, they may need to transfer that customer to a different agent, maybe somebody in a different department or who's talked to that person before. So we have two ways to do that. The first is a cold transfer, which just means you're going to immediately send that customer over to the other agent. The second is a warm transfer, and that just means that the two agents will have a minute to consult with each other before transferring control of the customer call. So that might be useful if that customer has some issue and the agents need to kind of debrief before actually transferring. And during that time, the customer will just be on hold. So I'll ask Amy and Sarah to help me out demoing this one. Oops, I need that. There we go. And I'm going to put myself back in available mode. Great. So here comes my incoming call from Amy. Hi, this is Kim. What can I help you with?
I would like to check my account balance.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the credit card department. I'll transfer you to the bank account department right away.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So at this point, I can just click the Open Directory button, and that will show me all the other agents that are available. I can see that Sarah's available, and she's in the bank account department. So I can click this transfer button to just immediately transfer the call over. Now my part of the bargain is over. If I look on the Teams menu, I can see what the other agents are up to, and I can see that Sarah is in that call now with Amy. Next, Amy will call me back, and this time I'm going to consult with Sarah before I transfer the call over to her. Hi, this is Kim. What can I help you with?
I would like to speak to Sarah.
Would you like me to transfer you to her?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me just check that she's available and I'll transfer you. Okay, at this point, I'll go back to the transfer screen, but I'll click consult before transferring. Hey, Sarah, I have a customer who wants to speak to you. Are you available?
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you.
No problem. I'll leave the call now. And at this point, I can just leave the call, and that will drop off Amy with Sarah. And again, if I go back to the Teams menu, I can see that Sarah should accept this call, and they're in a conversation now. Great. We have one more similar feature that's related to supervisors. So supervisors have some additional permissions. They can monitor basically all the conversations, all the calls that are going on. So if you've ever called into a call center and you get a message like, this conversation is being recorded for training purposes or something like that, that might just mean not only that you're being recorded for later, but that somebody is just secretly listening in on the conversation. Additionally, there's some extra coaching functionality. So if the agent is in training or if the supervisor has some feedback, the supervisor can join the conversation in coaching mode. And in that case, only the agent can hear anything that the supervisor is saying, and the customer can't hear anything. So the supervisor can be kind of secretly coaching the agent in the background. If it's a little more extreme than that, like maybe there's an issue and the supervisor really needs to take the reins, they can do a barge in, which just means they'll join the call in like a three-way call and just kind of take control, and they can talk to the customer directly. So now we will go ahead and demo those features as well. This time, Amy is going to call Sarah, and I will act in the supervisor role. Okay, I got the call, so if I just reject that, that will be passed over to Sarah. Okay. As soon as I see that Sarah's in a call, I can click on that to see some info about it, and I can click the monitor button to just listen in.
Can I help you? I just went shopping for a new wallet. One of your staff said we would buy one get one free campaign, but I didn't find two wallets instead. Oh, we're sorry for the inconvenience. Did you buy the limited edition wallet? Yes, I did. Okay, thanks for confirming that.
Okay, at this point, maybe I have some feedback for Sarah, so I'm going to join in as coaching mode, and Sarah will be able to hear me, but Amy won't. Hey, Sarah, could you just ask her if she could come to the store to get another wallet?
Would you be available to come to the store to get another free wallet? I cannot. I just went out of town. Oh no.
Okay. And at this point, if Sarah's not sure what to do next, or she needs additional permission from a supervisor, I can just barge in and join the call directly. Hi there, this is Kim. I'm one of the managers. Please accept our sincere apology for that. In order to compensate you, we'll send you the wallet and some coupons by mail. I'll let Sarah finish up getting your mailing address.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Goodbye. Okay, and I'll leave the call now and let Sarah and Amy wrap that up. Oops. Okay. So to summarize some of the key points that we've seen so far, SeaX has a really broad coverage. It allows you to handle all channels, all countries, all time zones, etc., from a single platform. And it has a really fast onboarding time because everything works out of the box with default settings. But also you can customize it and tailor it to exactly what you need. So things like your closing, opening hours, availability message, all those settings are configurable just for your business. Okay, next we're going to demo the knowledge base. So this is a great AI-powered tool that can really give your agents a lot more information and ability to help the customers in the call. The knowledge base is completely integrated in SeaX. So that means that you can manage it in there. You can add, delete, edit those knowledge base entries right within SeaX. And once you have some entries in there, it will provide real-time relevant suggestions based on the conversation. So as the agent is talking to the customer, they'll get a little prompt as the customer speaks, providing them with some suggestions of articles that may be helpful to them. And if those suggestions don't quite get what they need, or they want to look up something particular, there's also a manual search and filtering. And then once the agent finds the article that is helpful to them, it will provide them with an automatic suggested response template. So for chat conversations in particular, that will just allow them to really quickly respond once they find that information. So they don't even have to type, they just click a button and it's ready with a response for them. Great. So now we will demo the KB. Again, I'm going to make myself available, and this time I'm actually going to do, I'm going to kind of chat with myself. So if I go back to the home page, Okay, that's working now. If I go back to the home page, I can launch this web chat tester, and this will just open up just a sample window with a sample web chat. So this could be like demoing something, web chat on your website. You can use this as a testing feature. And if I say hi, it'll send me through this short IVR flow, and I can request a live agent. And I just got a notification on my end that I have a new message. So I can accept that. Great. And I'll introduce myself. Okay. So now from the customer side, I'm going to ask a question. I have a question about my account and my kids using my account, and I'm wondering if I can require a password to make a purchase. Now from the agent side, as soon as I get that question, we can see there are suggestions on the right-hand panel. This is my knowledge base panel. In the top section, there's 3 automated suggestions where as soon as I get a new message from the user, it will query the knowledge base and it will give me the top 3 relevant articles. And below, I have the manual search if I want to look for some additional information. So in this case, I'm asking about passwords. If I click the title of this first KB entry, it will expand to show me the full text. And the highlighted sections in yellow here are determined by the AI to be the most relevant in this big body of text to the user's question. And we also have some highlighted keywords throughout the text just to make the most relevant things pop out. At the top, I have a link to an external article. So this may be like a form or some resource for the customer, or just maybe the FAQ from the original website. So I can click that to open it, or from this main page, I can click this link to open that in an external tab. So in this case, I think this first highlighted section answers the question really well. So I'm just going to copy and paste this to the user. And from the user side, I have one more question. I want to know if I can see or approve downloads. So as soon as I send that message, you can see that we have a new query to the KB and new suggested KB articles. So I think that this first article, again, answers the question really well. It's about purchase approvals. In this case, I'm going to use that automated response template that I was talking about. So if I click this plus button here, it's going to automatically paste a response into the chat. So in this case, it's using that first highlighted section, which answers the question really well. And it's also going to provide that external article just as an additional resource. So I can go ahead and send that to my user. And as the user, that answers my question. So I'll end this chat. Great. So now that we've seen how that works in the agent-facing way, let's take a look at how we actually configure that. So if we go back to the settings tab and back here, we can see under automation, there's this knowledge base tab. From within here, I can import to bulk upload like a CSV file. If I have a big bulk amount of knowledge base stuff, maybe you grabbed it from your website and you want to upload it here, I can bulk import that, or I can add a single new KB entry manually. So in this case, I'm going to write one about refund policy. So for example, if you update your refund policy and you want all your agents to be aware of that information immediately so that a customer doesn't receive outdated information, you could add it to the KB and all of the agents would immediately have access to that. So in this case, I'll just call it refund policy. And next we can provide a set of sample queries that the user might ask. Excuse me. And by providing multiple different queries, we can improve the accuracy of the KB. So basically the knowledge base is learning that if a user asks a question like this, then this KB entry is the best response. So by providing a bunch of different paraphrases, we're going to make sure that this KB entry comes up when that question's asked. Next, we have a URL field. And if this topic is already on your website, you can just paste the URL to that FAQ page right here. And that will just ensure that the agent has that FAQ page available in their workspace. But also the URL field may be useful if you have like a really complex or interactive page that's relevant, or if there's something that the agent will want to send to the user, like an online form. Finally, we have a text field. And so this will allow you to add like a full rich context to the KB. And by doing that, you're empowering the KB system to offer more detailed results. So this is where we get those highlights and the bolded keywords that we saw in the KB results. And also the automated response templates are generated from this text field. And finally, we have labels. So the labels are great for organizing the KB, especially if you have a really big one. From the management screen here, we can filter all the results by label if we're just managing and we know we need to update refund. I could label this as refund and then we could filter by that. And also on the agent side, when they're doing the manual search, they can filter by these labels. And you may find it useful to add labels like to create general category tags to narrow down the search results, but also you could specify the source of the information or provide a date range for when that information is relevant, things like that. So that can be very useful. Once I submit that, I'm going to save all to make sure that that change is available to all my agents. And now that we've added that, let's see how the KB works with a voice-based demo. So Amy's going to call me in on the phone. And while she's calling me in, I'll just mention that the KB is going to use our speech-to-text engine in order to search. So as Amy is talking to me, it's going to be automatically transcribing those messages, and then it will use those messages to query the KB. And all of our voice intelligence is integrated into SeaX via this tab. So we can see as people are talking, we get a live transcription. And here's Amy's call coming in. I'll go ahead and answer that. Also, as soon as I answer this call, I can make sure that live transcription view is showing on the right-hand panel as well. So now I can have my KB on one side and the live transcription on the other. And let's start with the demo. Hey, this is Kim. How can I help you?
There are purchases on my account I don't recognize. I wonder if I can get a refund.
Okay, as soon as Amy stops talking, we'll see the transcription pop up and also querying the KB. So I'll look at this top suggestion. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. could you please confirm 2 things first? First, make sure that the Google Play purchase appears on your statement with Google in the name. And second, could you just double check where the charges come from and just make sure that your friends and family didn't accidentally make that charge?
I live alone and no one else has access to my account devices. The charges on my credit card is on Google Books.
I see. Okay, I think in this case, the best thing to do would be report the charges to Google.
Okay. What about getting my money back?
Yeah, let me check on our refund policy. So at this point, her question, she didn't mention a refund, so the suggestion didn't automatically come up. So let me search the refund policy manually. And there we go. Okay, yes, you can request a refund by going to support.google.com and find the help article called Requesting a Refund. And there's a link to the refund request form there you can fill out.
Got it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, so to summarize, the knowledge base provides an integrated platform to manage all your company's knowledge, and it uses AI to empower your customer service agents so that they always have the right knowledge at their fingertips while they're talking to the customer. And the real-time STT also means that the KB can provide accurate suggestions even for your voice-based conversations. And as a result, that's just going to ensure that you have a really consistent customer experience, a reduced call time with those automated response templates, and decreased training costs because your new agents always have a reference to all your knowledge. Going back to our slides, there's one last thing we want to demo, and this is really a feature for the supervisors and admins, and that's going to be the insights. So going back to our main page here. Oh, I'm not logged in as a supervisor, so I can't see it. Let me log out and log back in. Okay, there we go. Now I'm logged in as a supervisor, and you can see I have some additional tabs on the left-hand side. First, let's take a look at the dashboard. So this comes built in with a lot of pre-generated dashboards that show you really helpful information. So if I open up this tab on the left, these are all my pre-generated ones. So for example, you can see a dashboard about handling time, and this is just going to show how long each person is on the phone with an agent. And you can look at particular information about a single agent or a single call. So it's really detailed, and you have access to a lot of aggregated data here. Additionally, the Conversations tab is really helpful. If I take a look here, this is a log of every single conversation that's come through ever. And I can see who called, how long they're on there, who they talked to, how long they were waiting. And if I click on a particular call, let's see, maybe this one. Maybe this one. Okay, if it's a chat, we'll be able to see a full chat transcript. And if it's a call, we'll even have a full recording of the conversation.
Would you like me to transfer you to her? Yes, please.
So there's a transcription of that conversation I had with Amy earlier. And if I expand this, excuse me, this gives me a lot of additional features as the supervisor. So I can, one, leave a comment about this agent's performance. Maybe they had some compliance violation, or maybe this was a really good example of how to talk to somebody. So I can leave a comment for them. Also, we can set up an assessment for each conversation. So in this example, we're assessing the agent's performance, whether they did an upsell, say it was missing, their introduction was good, and closing was great. So we can record that assessment and we can incorporate that into a dashboard or into some review of each agent's performance. And we can define several different assessments if you have different things about each conversation that you want to track other than just agent performance. And if I go to this questionnaires tab, this is where I can define those assessments. So that's also fully integrated. You can create new questions, a new questionnaire, and then make sure that that's being put on each conversation so that when the supervisor reviews all the conversations, they can fill out that questionnaire. And finally, going back to the dashboard, you can also create your own custom dashboard. So for example, we created this KPI dashboard. There is a lot of built-in analytics, like key performance indicators or insights that are just readily available. So you can drag and drop them and craft a dashboard that's really useful to you. And then as the admin, you can also set up like a standard reporting. So if you create a dashboard, you could have it spun up and emailed to a listserv every week or every month or something like that, so that you're constantly getting a report of all those analytics. And I think that's it for the insights. So at this point, I'll just do one kind of final overview. So users can call, text, or chat, and all of their messages from all channels will be funneled into SeaX. And live agents have access to a wide variety of tools like transcriptions, the knowledge base, and they can transfer and consult to other agents. So they have all those tools to help out the users, and they can be interacting with multiple users at once via the various channels. And above that, the supervisors have a lot of ability to monitor, coach, and barge in to assist with customers. So that's a great feature for training, particularly when you're training new agents. That supervisor role has a lot of ability to help out. And they can also do a lot of performance review and leaving comments, reviewing analytics, things like that. And finally, all of those features listed previously are configurable by the administrators. So everything works out of the box, but the admins can go in and tweak pretty much every feature to suit your particular business. And those admins can also do things like review worker hours and generate those analytic reports. And I think at this point, we're happy to take any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Kim, so much for the wonderful demonstrations, and Amy and Sarah for demoing with Kim as well. I actually got two questions from the audience. One is that, could you please explain the supervisor version and coach in more detail? How is it exactly used in the contact center?
Yeah, great question. So the difference between barge and coach, just to reiterate, is coaching means that the supervisor can talk to the agent, but the customer can't hear. So the name coaching is kind of exactly what it implies. If you have a brand new agent who's kind of like, you know, a little tenuous on how they're handling customer situations, you can have the supervisor listening in on that conversation and kind of monitoring all the agents in training. And then if the agent maybe isn't sure what to do next or what question to ask or what response to give, the supervisor can just kind of, you know, be in the background whispering in their ear. The customer can't hear anything, and they're just coaching the agent on what to do next and what to say. So that's particularly useful for training when you're training new agents. And then I would say the barge-in tool is more of like a situation management thing. If you have a conversation that's going bad, or maybe maybe the agent needs to help in some way that they're not really capable to help with, such as offering an extra discount or something. While the supervisor is monitoring, they can just jump in and address that situation immediately by talking to both the agent and the customer. So that's going to help avoid that situation where the agent is like, oh, I'm not sure what to do next. Let me put you on hold and talk to my supervisor. And then the customer's upset because they're on hold and the agent's going back and forth between the supervisor. So that barge-in feature lets the supervisor take the reins and just join basically like in a three-way call so that everybody can talk together and resolve the situation.
I see. Yeah, thank you very much. The second question I got from here, after this, I think the audience can ask their questions as well. Like what kind of languages does the knowledge base support currently?
Yeah, great question. Currently, it supports English and traditional and simplified Chinese, but we are planning on expanding that. And we support a wide variety of languages with our other tools. The knowledge base is a little newer, so we're still working on adding those other language support.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Okay, do we have any questions from the audience?
Hey, this is Harshal. Hey, Kim. First of all, great presentation. I love the way you showcase the whole platform. Kudos to you and the team for a great job.
Thank you.
I have a question. So it's a very dumb question and apologies for my ignorance on this. I was just wondering what kind of synergies are possible with the Salesforce Service Cloud platform and overall with the whole Salesforce ecosystem in general. I feel there is a potential, but it will be good to know what kind of synergies are possible or are existing.
I could possibly answer the question, I guess. Okay, maybe I'll take it from here. Okay. Hashao, this is actually excellent question. So in Salesforce, we actually integrate with Salesforce. Whenever agent are using the Service Cloud, they can actually click to call on different people, different clients, and then usually like with some native integration with the Salesforce, agents are actually using Twilio Flex to actually call people and then message people. We actually have done quite a few integration. Oh, you know what? Like, let me just show you some of our product menus and then show you exactly what how it works. Kim, can I take the
Yep, go ahead.
the stage here? Okay, thanks. Yeah. So this is a Hasha, maybe I don't know, maybe you work for Salesforce or something. So this is our standard product menu here, and one big chunk of it is how to use it with Salesforce, including from setup to user onboarding or into a user guide. Right? This is actually the agent guide, right? So if I go into here, logging into SeaX on Salesforce, you could possibly say here, this is the Salesforce Service Cloud. Let me expand it a little bit, right? And when agents log in here, they have different clients to work on, right? And then we have this like a very nice click to dial feature that whenever they click something on a client phone number, this pop-up is just going to show up, and then the agent can directly talk with the customer, right? So basically, they have some activities and then reminders. Agents come on to work, and whenever they need to call people or communicate with the people, the basic infrastructure is actually provided by Twilio Flex, right? So to summarize what's going on here, people can actually use a single sign-on into Salesforce and Twilio, and whenever the customer agents receive a phone call from the Service Cloud or Salesforce, or they want to call people or message people, they can just click a button and then evoke Twilio Flex or Seasalt AI SeaX, and then start communicating with people. My understanding is that Salesforce Service Cloud, the bread and butter is based on the customer entries, the CRM, the ticketing system, while all the communications are tightly integrated with Twilio and all its infrastructure here.
This is great. Thanks for your clarification, Shuchen.
Any other questions from the audience? Well, thank you so much for attending our SeaX webinar. This is actually our third webinar. Before that, we talked about knowledge base in other languages and how to hire agents in India and the Philippines. And the next webinar will be on July the 7th, directly after 4th of July. And then we're going to talk about how to do case management and ticketing together with Twilio Flex and the SeaX. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and everyone have a good rest of the day. And thank you again, Kim, Amy, and Sarah for presenting such a wonderful webinar. Thank you, guys.